Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Aakriti Yunas, and this video is the outcome of the comments and messages that I received after my last video, which was a week in my life at Faculty of Law. So a lot of you asked questions about the DU LLB entrance exam and you all seem to be very confused. So I decided to help you all out. So in this video, I will discuss how I prepared for my DU LLB entrance exam and the things that worked out for me, and also some tips and tricks that will help you to crack this exam and get into the Faculty of Law. So if you're interested in that, then keep on watching. One question that got asked a lot was if coaching was necessary to clear this entrance exam, and my answer to this question is no. If you want to save time and if you have the resources, you can obviously go ahead and join some coaching. But I did not join any coaching, and I think a lot of people don't, and self-study is enough. It is just about gathering the material and knowing the syllabus, because at the end you will have to study everything on your own. And nowadays we have internet, YouTube, a lot of content. Definitely one can self-study and clear this entrance exam. The first thing that I did was to write down the syllabus on a piece of paper, and I highly suggest that you also do the same. You can either search for the syllabus or take the screenshot of this. So the syllabus for this entrance exam is broadly divided into 5 categories: legal aptitude, GK, English, maths and logical reasoning. And legal aptitude takes up the major portion in the question paper, so it is obviously the most important. Obviously this is a law entrance exam, and unlike other competitive exams, it really focuses on your legal aptitude. Under legal aptitude there are certain topics like constitution, IPC, torts, contract, family law, IPR, and constitution again takes up a lot of weightage in the question paper. So I studied constitution from this book. This is Universal's Guide to CLAT and LLB. Most of the people use this book. This book is really thick and heavy and almost impossible to complete the whole book, especially for the time left for the exam. But I will highly recommend study constitution from here. I covered my constitution wala whole part from this book, and this book literally has everything, each and every article, constitution based GK, and also questions to practice. That was for the constitution. For torts, contract, IPC, IPR, family law, I studied from this book. This is Wiley or Willy, however you pronounce it. When I was preparing for my entrance exam, I really wanted something which explains these topics to me in simple language, because that was my first time studying the legal terms and legal topics. So this book really gives a brief about all the topics. It explains the topic, and below it there are illustrations for each topic. And sometimes what happens is the examiner directly gives an illustration as a question, which also happened when I gave the exam back in 2021. So it really worked out for me. It also has practice questions for legal reasoning. So yes, that's that. Another very important topic for the legal aptitude is the landmark judgments. There are literally some judgments that you cannot skip. If you don't know what Kesavanand Bharti case is or what Minerva Mills case is, do not go and give the exam, please. And then there are also some important judgments that you have to cover for the year. Another very important portion of this paper is the legal GK. Legal static GK you can cover from Universal only, and legal current affairs. The legal current affairs basically includes all the important legal news from the past 8-9 months, all the important appointments, any bills, acts, amendments, and all of that. The right way to do it is obviously study the legal news the whole year. But if you're at this point, you don't know what to do, either you can study the current affairs from any competitive exam magazine like Pratyogita Darpan, or Drum rolls please. You can study the current affairs from this book. It literally covers all the current affairs for the past 8-9 months, I guess. Then apart from legal aptitude, another important portion for this entrance exam is logical reasoning. On an average, मतलब ऐसे कोई definite pattern नहीं है, 15 to 20 questions on an average come from logical reasoning. So I will list the important topics for logical reasoning and you can practice them. The best way to do logical reasoning is to practice question papers. If you are struggling with a particular topic for logical reasoning, you can obviously search it on YouTube and you will find some video or another, because every competitive exam mostly contains the portion for logical reasoning. So there is material in abundance for logical reasoning. For static GK, which includes history, science, geography and all of that, you can use the book Lucent if you have time, or you can just study the past year question papers, because you really need to focus on the legal aptitude portion. For the English portion, if you have a fairly good grammar, I think you'd be good to go. Plus there is reading comprehension, which is very scoring. I think you'd be able to do English, because the legal aptitude part is already very vast. So I don't want you all to waste time on English. But if you still want to study, if you have done all of your legal aptitude and everything and now you want to study English, then you can obviously practice questions from the past year papers, or there's a book, Norman Lewis, Word Power Made Easy. You can study English from there if you have time. If you want to study maths, I'll list down the topics, and if you want to skip these 3 to 5 questions, it is your risk to take, how you manage. If your legal aptitude is very strong and you think that it is okay to leave maths, then you can leave maths actually, but your legal aptitude has to be very strong. This is it for the outline of the syllabus. Now some things that really worked out for me. Solving past year question papers. I cannot emphasize enough on how important this is. DU has the tendency of repeating questions from the past year. I got this Universal's Solved Question Papers book. This has the past 10 to 12 year solved question papers. You will first of all get an idea of how questions are framed, what kind of questions can come, what all topics you have to prepare. You will solve the past year question papers and you will sit in the exam and see a repeated question. You will be very happy. It is very important to take mock tests. It is good for testing your preparation, and honestly the scores of the mock test really don't decide your final scores, because obviously you don't know what kind of question paper will actually be there and you will be in a different mindset. But mock tests really gives you an insight on your preparation. Sometimes you give the whole mock test, then you realize that this is the topic where you're lacking, and you can go back to that topic and study that topic again. So mock tests also help in your revision. And don't just take mock tests, take good mock tests, because there are a lot of people from the faculty or any random law students or bookshop owners selling their mock tests for rupees 50 or 10 mock tests for rupees 100 or something like that. But I really suggest that you take good mock tests. There are a lot of people, actual teachers, who provide mock tests, so I suggest that you take that. I took mock tests from Law Digest. I will link it down below if you also want to take that. They were pretty decent and they really helped me out. Another thing that really worked out for me was taking notes. I literally filled 5 registers. I can't find any of them right now, but I literally filled 5 registers. There were different registers for different topics, like one register for constitution, one register for contract, IPC and everything, then one register for current affairs and all of that. Because when you study one topic and then you move on to the other and then the other, you tend to forget about the first one. But when you skim through those handwritten notes, everything will be fresh in your mind once again. So it is very important to make notes and not just depend on somebody else's notes. At last, this is one of my favorite tips to give you all, is to follow the right channels to be on the right path. There are obviously more than thousands of videos on DU LLB entrance exam, but Some channels that I followed and I sweared by them were TLOI by Sehet Sir, then there is Law Digest by Ayushi ma'am, and then there's Logiri. These are actual teachers. They know what they're doing, they know what they're teaching, and they're experienced. At the end, I would just like to ask you all to take less stress, procrastinate less, and study more and study smartly. There will be 100 questions in the exam and you will get +4 for one correct answer and -1 for one wrong answer. So you have to attempt the question paper keeping in mind the negative marking and aim for a certain score. I know if you belong from a general category like me, it gets intimidating looking at the cutoff. If you have some sort of reservation, you will get some relief. But if you study smartly and you attempt the paper in the right state of mind, there are a fair number of seats in the faculty and you will have a good chance of getting in. A lot of people were asking me if they still have enough time to prepare for DU LLB. I think there are roughly 1.5 months left for the exam. Yes, there are a lot of people who study in the last months and still clear the exam. So give your best shot. Hopefully I've covered everything and cleared your doubts. If I've missed anything, I will mention it in the description and answer to your questions in the comments. If you found this video informative or helpful, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment down below. All the best. I will see you next time.
Why don't you recognize I'm so ready?